the recognized symbol of excellence in collecting podcasts.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the 1-year anniversary of Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio. This is a place where we talk about toys, collectibles, action figures, and all that sort of thing. My name is John Sargent.
And my name is Christian McGann. Cue the confetti and the like kid noise in the back, like, yeah!
The balloons, the celebrities, the whole thing. It's our 1-year anniversary, and it's the Hall of Fame, which is prestigious, to say the least. So we're going to get into all that. We're going to do our personal Hall of Fames, which we have taken very seriously, and I'm not kidding about that. We're going to get into the news of the week, and then we're going to do the overall Hall of Fame that y'all voted for over at Mighty Champions. If you missed the vote, too bad, so sad. You should have been following us at Mighty Champions. There's a lot going on over there.
We'll do it again next year.
We'll do it again next year, and that's where we put things such as the Hall of Fame, our hauls from toy shows, which we're also going to get into, our personal collections. That's where we interact with you. That's where we answer your questions. That's where you can ask us questions, so you're going to want to follow us. Also, subscribe to the show. The show rules. It's been on for a year, a whole year. And
it's hard to do in today's day and age.
Yeah, in this economy.
In the area of podcasts.
This is an amazing show, and you should subscribe to it. You should also review it, because if you review it, it will get even bigger. And when it gets even bigger, we actually will have celebrities here for the Hall of Fame. So, that pretty much covers the admin for the show. We had a big morning.
It was very fast.
Very fast, but also very furious.
Awesome.
There's a local toy show here, which I guess is actually an annual tradition.
Every year, yeah.
Or
twice a year, I think.
I think they do it twice a year, but I think we did it right before or like day of or around the first episode.
This is like probably third or fourth time.
It's called Chemical Toy Fair. It happens here in Austin. It's small, but it's great.
Yeah.
And we went this morning, and we each walked out with, so both of us had somewhere to be like immediately afterwards, so we had to just power through as fast as possible. I actually was supposed to be at work when it started, and I was like, I'll just go when I feel like it.
Yeah.
Because I'm the boss and I can do that. So when I went, I tried to get there a little bit early to save a spot in line, because I knew you needed to get out of there quick too. And they came out and said, we're going to open 5 minutes early just because they could.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. So I go in, and I'm like, I wasn't the only person in there, but it felt like I was the only person in there for a little while. And I'm kind of going like table to table, hey, good morning, how's it going? Take a quick look, and off I go. And it's getting kind of awkward, because it kind of is just me and that one person at that booth, and then me just walking away over and over again. And so like I do the little lap, I go in the like back room. This is at like a Shriners Club kind of place. And there's a couple vendors back there. Take a quick look around. Don't see anything there. Go in the other back room. They got like your artists and people who make, spoof candles and that kind of stuff.
3D printed stuff.
Yeah, no thank you.
The one where I like side eye as much as humanly possible, just so I don't, because they're all looking at me like, come on back here, and I'm like, sorry, my phone's ringing.
I go in the even further back room, and there's always really good vendors back there, and they have really good stuff. The whole place is full of really good stuff. It's just not stuff that I collect.
Yeah.
So I go in the way back room, and I see like the wrestling guy, and he's got really good stuff. I just either have it or don't need it or whatever. And I'm like, okay, I'm done. It was less than 10 minutes.
Crazy.
Less than 10 minutes, and I'm like, I'm done. And then I spot you. I was like, all right, I'll kick it with Christian for a little bit. When I spot you, I'll let you tell your own story. I'm gonna let you finish. You already have an enormous bag.
I do have an enormous bag.
So I'm like, all right, I'll kick it with Christian for a little bit. So I just start like kind of meandering, and then you're going through some loosies. So I go, I'll just do another like full lap. I might as well. And I walk out, and I go over to Bam's Vintage Toys, and there had been a table in the middle that I didn't look at because it was full of like video games and movies. And I look again and I see the Invasion of the Turtle Snatchers, the Great Baldini, Sky Turtles, and April Foolish. The complete BK Kids Club TMNT VHSs. All 4.
Which is what we talked about like 2 episodes back.
Yeah, on
you mentioned these specifically.
I mentioned these specifically. I made this happen.
It's crazy.
I made this happen. I mentioned them on the Kids Meal Toys episode, and here they are all together. I think I've seen 1 or 2 of them here and there. I've never seen all 4 of them together before. So
$10 each.
Better than that. I got all 4 for $35. Nice. So yeah, I got killer deal from Bam on those. Looking forward to seeing him and Dripping Springs at Retromania. And so I was content at that point. I was kind of on cloud 9. And then I was like just kind of kicking it some more. I was like, let me go back in that like side room again. Maybe I didn't look the closest. And I walk in and look to the left and see all the Funko Pops. And I'm like, nope, I did. And as I'm turning around to walk back out to say like bye to you, I spot not just a grail item, but like one of the things that eluded me the most as a kid. Like one of the few things that I could say, I remember that I wanted that, I didn't get it, and I always wanted it. An item that is up for the Hall of Fame.
That is mind-boggling.
That has been on the social media all week, being voted on for a Hall of Fame item, and it's the Hulk Hogan WWF Wrestling Buddy that I had the Ultimate Warrior one when I was a kid, so I have first-hand love of wrestling buddies, but I loved the Ultimate Warrior, but I wanted the Hogan. Now I've got the Hogan. It is well-loved, but it's also in good shape. When I was on my way home, I got some like Tide pens.
Did you clean it?
I haven't yet. No.
Oh, okay.
I got some like Tide pens and like a OxyClean roller thing, and I looked up the process of cleaning it. So I'll do that tonight or tomorrow. I'll probably make a reel out of it, just like the process of restoring it.
That'd be sick.
Wash the racism out of him.
There you go.
Yeah, so couldn't be more stoked with just those 2 items. Also this week I got a Shaquille O'Neal starting lineup in the mail and some Jordan 5s. So pretty good week of acquisitions for me. I'm over the moon about this Hogan Wrestling Buddy.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
I think I was looking at it, I was like, okay, that's enough Hogan items. Like, I'm in this weird place where I grew up idolizing the guy, then found out who he really was and spent 20 more years hating him. Didn't own a single Hulk Hogan thing. Then I started collecting and had to try to find a way to separate the character and the guy. And I did that. Then he died. And then it became easier to do.
Yeah.
Like way easier to do. The red and yellow is a cartoon. It's not...
He's a character.
Yeah, it's not attached to a person for me at all. But at a certain point, it's like, all right, that's a lot of that guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Although he was really, really, really important to me when I was 6. Yeah. So, as I finish my Hasbro collection, I'll get the rest of those. But other than that, I think
it's like his character that he played was important to 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
But, and like, technically a good influence on them,
yeah,
right?
For sure. Good guys and bad guys. And he was the good guy, right?
Yeah. So it's like you can kind of keep it sacred for what it was.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And he honestly probably wasn't always a bad guy. He probably just went crazy.
He did, what do you call it? Make-A-Wish. Like, up until John Cena broke his record, he was the most Make-A-Wish guy. Tons of charity work. Like, he did good things. He just also had hate in his heart. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, something happened along the way.
Yeah. So he's an old guy from Florida. Like, you gotta kind of, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I couldn't be happier with my week of hauls. How'd you do?
Yeah, man, did good. I'll start a day before. So I play in a hardcore band called Virtue. Do the vocals for the band. We had a gig last night. It's our first gig since October of last year. So been some time since we've played. The guitarists for our band play in another band called Soul Exchange. they got signed to a label, so this was their CD release show, and they've been really busy with that.
Did they do double duty?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So this was their release show, and then like with our drummer and his like writing and directing and acting stuff, it's like he's pretty busy. He's also getting ready to have a kid, so another big reason why we haven't played. So it's kind of it was interesting over the last couple weeks to just get back into show mode, and then the idea of just like being like in a band and like that, because it feels just like it's not been on my radar, right? Like doing baseball has kind of just been more in like my wheelhouse lately. But show was amazing. Like venue was super cool.
The videos look cool.
Videos are like, yeah, man, super high energy. Ton of people there. Like people got there early. Like first band had a good chunk of people. We sold a good amount of merch, and then yeah, man, it was cool.
How do you not blow out your voice when you haven't done it in so long?
I think I just learned how to like. I mean, I was pretty raspy this morning, like when I first woke up, and after the gig, but then it immediately got better.
That's crazy to me.
It is weird. It used to happen all the time. Yeah. Like usually post show, I'd be like,
I think I've seen it happen to you once.
Yeah, but I don't know what the difference is, and maybe we just had more time to practice because we practiced about 3 times.
Oh, okay.
So usually that's what it takes for me to get back into it. Because like if you've never heard the band before, you can go listen. You can listen to us anywhere, but it does take a lot of like external and internal force to like get that sound out. And if you're not careful, if you catch too much of your throat, then it will absolutely, because it is Cookie Monster style vocals for sure. But it was a good time. I had a guy come up to the table, and he was like, dude, I'm a massive like WWE wrestling guy. And for those also who don't know who the band is, so I'm a personal trainer. John owns a gym. I work at the gym that John owns. And so I try to do very like motivational type stuff whenever I talk, but I try to say things that just try to get people fired up because it's high energy music. I want to have high energy lingo.
Yeah.
And so part of what I do, and this actually is influenced by like the way that wrestlers talk, though I am not a wrestling fan, like per se, really.
You're cutting promos.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Wrestling cuts.
Cutting promos.
Okay. Cause he kept saying something. I think that's what he was saying.
Yeah. When they're, hollering into a microphone, it's called cutting a promo.
Okay, that's cool. That's exactly what he was saying. I was trying to remember, and I was hoping you would know. But yeah, I'll just say kind of like, just...
You do it all day, every day.
I do it all day, every day. So I try to like put that out there and say it into the stage, right? So whenever we open up and we're ringing out and we're building up in the first song, like I'll say like, I call us, I'm like, I'm like, this is Virtue, the 250-pound prodigies, the 2,000-pound nightmare, like that type of stuff. And so it's like nonstop, that type of stuff. But he was like, man, I love that so much, man. That is so good. You're so good at that. And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm not a wrestling guy. I've never been a wrestling guy. It's like, but I explained, I was like, but I got a toy podcast, and the other guy's huge into wrestling. So my only kind of foot in the door of wrestling is via you. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, it's amazing, man. You really need to like do a lot more of that. And it was cool. So, it was a great time, man. Great to see a lot of people. Great to have like a lot of cool interactions, talk a lot about just like kind of what's happening. Like a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time, just being in that kind of music space. And then it was just like get home and then just try to go to sleep after that, which was like hard because I knew I had to wake up and get to Chemical Toy Fair because it opened at 9, and then I had to be done by 9:30 sharp to head to our baseball game. And so like I'm laying in bed like trying to fall asleep because you're just like overly stimulated, you know what I'm saying? So I end up taking some melatonin, and then I wake up and I'm just like, okay, here we go. Felt like I was like an easy way to wake up just because I knew toys were right around the corner. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, as soon as I get into Chemical Toy Fair, also the guy at the very beginning, I just hand him money and he's like, what do we, and I was like, it's $5 to get in. He's like, yeah, just you? And I was like, I mean, I'm the guy in front of you
handing you money. What is this?
Yeah, it was just so weird. Like I kind of like stuttered because I just didn't.
He asked me how many also.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
He also was like, this other guy was trying to put his thing. He's like, "Oh man, you're big like me. It's gonna be hard to get that on there."
Not big like you.
I was just kind of like, "Huh?"
I'm big, not like you.
Yeah, it was weird, man. Yeah, it's different. So, yeah, dude. Upon arrival, okay. What I love about this is that there are the same vendors every single time, without a doubt.
Yeah, there's some new ones, but there's some like staples. And
the staples all have their standing spots, their locations. Yeah. So I know who to look for. I know who I've bought from before in the past, and so it's usually just like, okay, where are those people? They've been good. Let me go check. And so it's the old hippie couple.
Yep.
Right. And so I go over there. I've found like really cool stuff there. And what I love about this lady is that you hand her something, and then she just automatically knocks off $3 to $5 just because. Yep. That's just her thing. And I love that. So I go over there and I see a couple items and I'm like, okay, I could come back for that if I really want it. And then she had a table full of some just like regular like 90s action figures. There's some turtles. And then she's had like this 1999 like late 90s Toy Biz Giant Man that was kind of hanging out there. And I've always seen him. Literally from the first time we went there like 3 or 4 years ago or whatever. It's just still there. And I'm like, all right, enough's enough. So I just grabbed that.
It's so crazy to use the term still there about a thing that happens like once or twice a year. Like they just keep taking it home and bringing it back.
They keep it, dude. Yeah. I mean, that's one of 20 items that they do that with.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a part of me is like, I'll get that next year. Straight up. I'm not lying. So I decided to grab that. Then they had like a late 90s Toy Biz Silver Surfer on his surfboard for $6.
I saw that as I was walking by, and I considered it too as like I just don't want to leave empty-handed. I was like, that's not me. Dude, so I'm glad you grabbed it.
Yeah, $6. I was like, yoink. And then I was like, yeah, I'll do these. And then she was like, how about $13? And I was like, beautiful.
Yeah.
And then I'm just
about $13.
Yeah, and I'm like digging through the little loose box there, and then find like I don't even know. It's a Spider-Man figure, like late 90s Toy Biz, where he's wearing like regular clothes, but his clothes are like ripped up, and he's also got the Spider-Man suit on. I was like, that looks sick. I love that. That just screams
awesome.
Spider-Man. So got that, and then I forget about where you found the Hulk Hogan. God, every freaking time. I've never met the guy, sorry. But I forget about that little area because it's got the freaking wall full of Fez hat guys.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm jumping tables. I'm like barely like looking. I'm like,
yeah, because it's hurry.
Well, it's that, and also it's just like
some of them were like one thing, like one like there's an entire, it's like a U-shaped booth, like a big booth, and it's nothing but Star Wars. I know I can just walk past that.
Man, it was Star Wars. It was modern Star Wars vintage collection.
Yeah,
which I thought was really weird.
Yeah,
it feels
that's a weird thing to bring to a con.
It's a weird thing where it's only that. It made me feel like they just bought somebody's thing and they're like getting into it or something like that.
Yeah.
So I walked past that. I walked past a lot of people, dude.
Because a few people I just nope.
I just look and I'm like, I look for anything that's going to stand out.
There was one guy. He had nothing but Transformers, which I can walk past, and he stops me. He goes, "I remember you," and I look up at him and I go, "Oh yeah, did I get a Predator from you?" And he goes, "Yeah, last year you got that Predator from me." And then he goes, "Yeah, we talked about Predator Badlands," and I was like, "Oh yeah, we argued about it, huh?" And he was like, "Yep." And I was like, yeah, dude, I still defend that stance. I have to do it every day.
He's like, you know what, man? It's cool because I got some stuff over here. And he turns around, you're gone.
Oh, really?
No, I would say like you pull like the Batman Commissioner Gordon experience.
I hate when he does that.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I'm just like kind of cruising through, and then I go over to Bam's, and he's like, this is the biggest table I think I've seen from him. Or at least it's bigger now. It's the biggest one there.
Retromania in Dripping Springs,
Yeah.
he brought the thunder.
Yeah, dude. He has awesome stuff.
He does. He's always got stuff.
He's got the best. He has by far the best booth.
Yeah.
There's not a ton because it's like a little too early for me.
Check out Bam's vintage toys online on Instagram or wherever because they ship.
Yeah.
And they've got gas.
Dude, it is awesome. It's like I said, it's a lot of 80s, a lot of late 80s stuff, so it's a little before my time. And then I'm just kind of like looking around, and then I just see Godzilla, 1998, Trendmasters, just this huge one. I hadn't seen it before.
I've never seen that before.
And it's like literally probably 15 inches tall.
It's bigger than all your JP dinosaurs.
All of them.
Yeah.
And so I go over there and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm looking for the price tag and I see $25. And I was like, it's missing the tail. Yeah. And I was like, I'm doing it. I'm like, that is so sick. And it's one that has like a trigger on the back of it where you pull the trigger and his foot kicks or something like that.
Yeah. Puppet kind of vibes.
Kind of puppet vibes, but it looks so sick, dude. The foot, the left foot is like by itself. The other foot has like a road and stepping on some taxis. Oh, I love it.
Nice.
So that was awesome. So that's where you came over and you looked at my bag.
I just walk over and you have an enormous bag. I'm like, what has happened here?
Dude, I'm like I said, I'm recon. So I go over to this other table. I was hoping the Batman lady was going to be there.
Yeah, I think she was a one and done. I think her goal was just get rid of it and
Maybe,
get out of the
she
game.
had gas, dude.
Yeah.
So I was initially looking for her. But there was a table that had like a bunch of like 90s, nothing but loose figures and stuff. And so I go through and I look, I find a Spider-Man from the movie, loose, not articulated by any means, one that I had when I was younger that I pulled out of the...
Not super articulated?
Not articulated at all, really.
Okay.
Like literally, I think maybe his elbows are the only thing that will move.
Okay.
And his feet are stuck in a stuck...
Isn't that the one that comes with the like light post or whatever? Isn't that one of them?
It might be one of those.
Where he's like just stuck in one position?
He's stuck in one position.
Yeah.
And I remember
Or
just
the
being...
dumpster or whatever?
Yeah, I pulled it out and I was like, on God's green earth, this is the greatest scam of my life. But I bought it again because it was $5 and it was loose. So it's cool, man. And then you were like, "Yo, they got some DC UC in the back." Two young kids, probably like
I
early
walked
20s.
in there before you got there, and I saw their DC UC, and I told him my homie's about to come in here and lose his S when he sees what you guys have right here.
Yeah, I pulled out a gun on them, and they. No, I'm kidding. But when I went in there, I was like. So I was looking. They just had high ticket items. They were a little too expensive.
Yeah, they had like $60 Deathstroke.
It was like 60 through 80, and they're bangers, like for sure bangers. Like everyone they had was bangers. So I was like, man, if I don't find anything else, I'll come for that Batman Beyond, which is gas. Mm-hmm. And then I found that loose box where I was digging in, where you were kind of like done, and then you were like, all right, I'm gonna circle back around. But they had freaking Ken or Jurassic Park in there. That one is still kind of like messing me up a little bit because I was like, dude, like just, little Raptors, whatever. But it was like $15, $20 that I was just like, man, like, I'm sure if I pulled out and was like, yo, dude, if I get all three of these, like, what could you do kind of thing. But I ended up passing on that because I was like, I kind of want to have, like, I don't know. I feel like the Batman Beyond is speaking to me a little bit more. So I got the Batman and I was like, normally I'm not a haggler. I kind of feel bad about doing it sometimes, but everybody's doing it.
It's the game. That's what it is.
It's the game. So I walk up and I was like, 40 the best you can do on that? And the guy's like, and then he was like, how about 35? And I was like, yeah, deal.
There you go.
And then I was like, dude, you guys are young, which means you take Venmo. And I was like, I told him, I was like, I came here one time where like nobody would take anything but cash. And it was me just being like, cool, bye. And it was funny. So I snagged that, and then I think that was it. My girlfriend wasn't able to come, but I found a Snoopy for her, like an 80s Snoopy in a tracksuit.
Was she feeling it?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, she was feeling it. Because I was going to get her some Powerpuff stuff, like girl stuff.
Yeah.
But dude, there was like $20, $30, and I'm like, I can't justify paying $20 for this fluffy pen.
Yeah, wasn't it a pen?
It was a pen, and then there was like a coin purse that was $30, and even the Snoopy was $20. I was like, yeesh. But I was like, whatever, I'll bring it home. And then did that, and then that was it, man. After that, just went straight to the game, and lost a baseball game. So
Still a good day.
yeah, it was great. She ended up going because I told her, I was like,
oh, she went after us?
She was like, oh, was there anything good? I was like, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like I kind of...
Did she get anything?
I think she said she got a little plushy thing.
Okay.
But yeah, she was like, that sucked. She was like, there was nothing there. And she was like, that's because you got all the good stuff.
Yeah, we cleaned them out.
I was like, honestly, like, yeah, like, I really did look for her. I was like, there's... And I was like, maybe, like, I saw that there was, like, the Last Action Hero, where you bought the...
oh, was there?
Yeah, Wrestling Buddy. There was
the
like
5-inch?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It was in box. It was the kid.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought maybe she would be into that. And then she was like telling me later that somebody had like a Mars Attacks gun or whatever. I was like, how would I ever know that would be something that you want? Because she's always like, did you give me anything? Did you give me anything? And I'm like, it's just so random. I actually prefaced before because
she's a little more aware of stuff before her time than you are.
A little bit, yeah.
Does she have older siblings?
Her dad is like a movie fanatic. And so she's very into that. But so I tried, because I was like, man, I don't want this thing where it's like you leave it up to me to try to find something for you, and it stresses me out the entire time that I'm there.
Right.
And if I don't bring you back something, then you're just going to be like, you know? And then so I was like, well, how about this? What are you looking for? Yeah. What are you looking for? Tell me what you're looking for. She's like, I don't know. I'd have to be there.
She just lets it speak to her.
That's why I'm like, then you can't put that on me.
She treats the toy show like you treat Target. You just walk in and tell me what you want me to walk home with.
Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, exactly. But it was a score, and so like after the game, I just was like, had to get out of my head. I was telling you before we recorded, I was like, dude, I was like, man, I wish that I had the game first and then the toys after, because that would have just like flushed it out of my system.
Yeah.
But I am freaking fired up on that Godzilla. It is so sick.
That's what I like.
I'm excited about everything. Honestly, like I don't really collect too much of the late 90s toy biz, just because it was before my time. But it's still like toyetic. It's still beautiful. It is still, if I showed anybody the Spider-Man figure, they'd bow before it. And so I can't wait. I'm gonna take some photos of that later. I'll tag the IG. So if you're not following, follow along. Yeah. So.
Love it, dude. Love it. Any of those make your personal Hall of Fame?
We'll get to that. But before we dive into that, I don't know if this is where you wanted to do it or not where you wanted to do it. There's also a fedora cap. Is that a fedora hat down there? Belongs to somebody?
Yeah, some stuff fell that I need to pick up.
Gotcha. Just don't know if Stuart Little lived here. But I feel like we should talk about what we've learned in the last year.
We're gonna get there.
Okay. All right. Before we get there, John, I mentioned a little bit about baseball. Okay. I've been having great baseball experiences this year, even today, in the face of like a annoying, goofy, where it's like the Colorado Rockies beat the Dodgers. That was basically today. And then they have an attitude. When you're mad and you just hit like a rocket double and then you're flexing the double biceps and then it's just like kind of pisses the other team off a little bit, there's nothing sweeter than that, dude. Nothing sweeter than that. But before that, I've been practicing, been training very hard in the cages. I've been PRing exit velocity, which is how hard the ball is hit off of the bat. But I'll come in contact with people and, they'll talk, hey man, did you play in college? Where'd you play at? Where'd you play at? And for those of you, if you're tuning in for the first time, I never played baseball when I was younger. I started playing in 2020 and have grinded my way. The definition of 10,000 hours worth of effort and time spent getting good at this game. And typically they'll be like, well, are you an athlete? Like, did you play other sports? Like I would get, did you play football in high school? Because I'm a big dude. And then they'll be like, or just anything? And I'm like, nah, man. In fact, I was 310 pounds, man. Championship eater. And I was like, I played soccer when I was younger. And they're like, well, everybody did. And I'm like, I was in Taekwondo when I was younger, and everybody did. And when I thought about that, I felt like my world sort of came to this full circle moment, because we've talked a couple times on this podcast about the pants rip gene, right? I've talked about me trying to show off and how it completely, utterly backfires. In fact, today I wasn't even really trying to show off. My dad walks up And then he sees me strike out, and then he comes and tells me, he's like, yeah, I pulled up when you were striking out. And I, honestly, didn't want to hear that. Didn't want to hear that. But, you know, that's whatever. So it got me thinking about the pants rip gene. And I've been overcoming it because I feel like John's my pants rip therapist.
For those of you who haven't heard the conversation, don't
Please.
know the concept of the pants rip gene, or why I might be a shaman about the pants rip gene. So,
Because I have it too.
This is a concept that basically was born from just you telling stories about ripping your pants, metaphorically.
Yes.
And what I was explaining to you was that there's two types of people in this world.
Yes.
There's people with the show-off gene,
Yeah.
and there's people with the pants rip gene.
Yes.
And the show-offs will show out no matter what the circumstances. They hit a bullseye, they hit the hole-in-one, they hit the home run. They just have...
She says yes.
Yeah, they just have that. Then you have the middle of everyone who doesn't even really try to show off, and they'll never even find out if they have the pants rip gene or the show-off gene. That's the majority. Then on the other end, you have the people who try to show off, and they rip their pants without failure. And the way that you overcome this is to try without showing off. And then you will not rip your pants. You may or may not show out, but you won't rip your pants.
Yeah. And I didn't know that I had it.
And I know this because I have the pants rip gene.
Man. Yes. I didn't know this until you held my hand and guided me and said, Christian, you're a loser. You've always been a loser. Recognize
What
it.
did you think I was talking about when I called you a weird homeschool kid the whole time?
I mean, you know, sometimes that's just how it goes. And like, but it's weird because it's like, I look at other homeschool kids and I'm just like, darn, man, y'all are lame. And then they're like, weren't you homeschooled? I'm like, shut up, dude, please. So it got me thinking about Taekwondo. And I was like, man, if destiny ever was trying to tell me something, it was like, dude, quit already. Quit. Because you are not meant to be here. And things are going to happen so loudly that it's just like, dude, hang it up already. And I made it to red belt, no, blue belt with like red stripes. I was 2 belts away from a black belt, and I just lost interest.
Yeah.
But as I've talked about thousands of times on this podcast, the driving force for me to join Taekwondo was that my whole life revolved around fighting bad guys. The fact that I was training to fight full-grown adults at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
At a moment's notice. And believed that to be the case. And if Taekwondo revealed anything to me, it was that it was not going to work out for me in any way. So, number 1, here's the first story right here, okay? My Taekwondo experience. One-on-one sparring in front of the entire class. This was an opportunity for me to show off in front of everybody because guess what? I've been doing spin kicks on the trampoline. I can do a front flip and land it. I tried to run up my wall and do a backflip. My foot went through the wall. It's a class. Guess what? Everybody's here. The girl you like is in the crowd too.
Of course she is.
Of course.
Yeah.
The coolest guy in the class that all the girls like, he's there too.
Of course.
Christian, why don't you come up here? And then you're going to fight this guy. And this guy is the worst fighter there. And he's your age, but he sucks. And he has no power whatsoever. So, of course, I'm going to beat him up pretty bad in front of everybody. I'm going to get the W. I go up there. We're going, you know, it's a little bit this. You got people cheering. I do a roundhouse kick. Beautiful. And I fart in front of the entire class.
Oh my God. That is the premier definition of pants rip gene.
And when the whole class is sitting and watching you and laughing and even...
Because they're the age of an audience that's the worst thing that could possibly happen.
And they're older, too. The girl that I like is older. The guy that's cool that I want to show off from. They're all older than me. And even the guy that's running, he's like, you know, when you're supposed to do your, it's supposed to come from your mouth. And everybody's just laughing. And I was, I don't know, maybe 5'6" that day. When I went and sat down, I was 3'6", maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dude, I sat down and I was like shivering that I was just like, I can't believe that happened. And then the coolest guy in the class was like, that was awesome, Christian. And I was like, I knew at a young age, do I take pride in this, or am I just like the
No,
fat?
you don't want to be that guy.
Dude, I was like, thanks, but I'm just the fat guy I'm the fat kid that's running past the cake, stops, swipes a finger, and then like tastes the cake and then keeps running. I'm that kid in the movie, doggone it. Number 2. We're doing a warm-up, okay? I'm feeling high energy. I don't know if we got there early, and I think I was doing like jump kicks and stuff like that. I was feeling good. I was getting recognized for it. The guy's leading like, I don't know what it is. It's like you're doing hand stuff, like fighting stances. I don't know what they call it, whatever. I can't remember. There was a name for it. And we're doing it, and once you end, everybody's like, oh yeah! You know, you do the noise. And for some reason, I just decided to be loud with it, and I squeaked really loud. And I went, ah yeah! And the guy who was teaching the class said, who was that?
What?
And I was like, I raised my hand, and he was like, you're going to give me 20 push-ups after class. And I was like, God.
Because your like voice broke?
I mean, I think I was trying to be funny. I don't know what happened, but I was like, like I did something bad. And then he was like, you're giving me 20 push-ups after class. And I was like, God dang it. And it was an episode of like a kid's TV show where like the kid has the thing that's like weighing over him the entire time. And he's having dreams about
straight
it.
Boy Meets World.
And it's over the top, like exaggerating or whatever. And I remember after I was walking downstairs, dead man walking, going to do his push-ups. And I was like looking down, and I look over and he's talking with everybody. He's not even thinking about it. He doesn't even care. It was never going to happen in the first place. He was just telling me because
put the fear of you.
He was putting
right.
the fear like in me. And I remember just like walking out. I could have walked out the door and left.
You did the push-ups though?
I walked over there and I was like, I'm sorry, John. Do I do them now? He's like, what? And then he was like, oh, yeah, do your 20 push-ups. And I was like, ah. And I failed at those. And I'm like, dude, why? I just felt like I had to go tell him, please let me, like, please do this to me.
Man,
I don't even know.
You're the most goody two-shoes person I've ever encountered.
I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, and then one time we're up there and we're warming up and we're stretching and we're doing this stretch, which is like, why? Where you're laying on your stomach facing the carpet or the ground or whatever, like
the mat, and then you're like pulling both your legs from behind you. Yeah, like a stretch.
You're stretching that way,
and I need to do that right now. I'm tight.
Yeah, but there's a better way to go about it, dude. And honestly, man, like you're sitting there and then you got to hold it for like 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And this kid, Melvin, his mom was, his mom.
Classic Melvin.
I know. His mom was stretching in front of me, and his mom was like, short, no.
Oh.
No. Mom was stretching in front of me, and she's she's stretching, and she's a bigger lady.
Okay.
And she's a shorter lady, so she's a little stubby, kind of. And she's holding it for dear life. She's shaking and she's sweating. And then she farts extremely loud in front of me. And I'm like, God dang it. So I'm laughing really hard, or I'm trying really hard not to laugh. I'm literally biting the carpet because I'm trying hard not to laugh. That one's not really against me. That's more actually her pants rip gene revealing itself. And then after the class, first of all, I'm dying laughing the entire time. I can't stop laughing. And then after the class is over, somehow, some way, I go to like get a drink from the water fountain, and I turn around and she's right there, and she's just got this smirk on her face like, yeah, that was me. And it was just like this exchange that I'll never forget, that I wish never happened. Number 4.
Of how many? By the way, this is all the answer to how long have you been playing baseball?
I know, but just entertain it, okay? I need to laugh, John. I had a rough day, all right? So I went to a tournament, and before fighting, I had to go over and find, okay, which group am I in? You know, I'm I don't know how old at this time, probably 8 years old or whatever. I walk over there. I have a piece of paper that I have written my name on that I have to give to this guy. So I'm entering into whatever fighting I'm about to do. And it's a little like Mexican dude who's like, I don't even know, 4'5" maybe. And he's a black belt. And I hand him it, and then he looks at it, and he reads, and he's like, "Is this your handwriting?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You need to go back to the first grade, man." I had terrible handwriting. And I remember sitting there, and I'm like, man, this dude is dogging on me, laughing at me. But he was 4'5" and like a black belt, but he was like tiny, and I was bigger than he was. And I was just like, why don't you and I go toe to toe?
Yeah, that would have worked out well for you.
I mean, honestly, dude, I don't even know. But I'm like, why me? You know? Number 5, I went to this tournament, and I got paired up to fight with the worst fighter I've ever seen in my entire life. But I lost because I had to pee. And I didn't know where the bathroom was at.
What?
I couldn't kick because I was afraid I was going to whiz myself. Then later that day...
You need a sitcom, dude.
Dude, later that day, I go, and one of my dad's friends is like, "Hey, man, I heard you went to a tournament." I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "How'd you place?" I said, "Third, that's great." There was only 3 people. Terrible. And then the final one, the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will, was the one day that I could have shined so perfectly. Is we go and we're sparring, and I go up against this like scrawny, skinny kid wearing glasses. I wear glasses. I don't know if I did at the time. And I just decided, like, I'm going to bring the heat today. I think my dad kind of gave me some fire. He was like, "You can do this, man," because I didn't have confidence.
Yeah.
And I decided to have confidence that day. And as soon as they yell, like, "You're good to go," like, "Fight," or whatever, I did a roundhouse kick, the same one that I farted in the beginning. No fart. I kicked the kid in the face, though, and his glasses went flying across the room.
And you actually ripped your pants.
No.
Oh.
But I kicked the kid in the face, and he falls to his knees and is weeping uncontrollably as his glasses go flying across the room. And then everybody just starts freaking out. And then I'm like, and then they're like pushing me over to the side. They're grabbing him. They're carrying him. He's got his nose up and he's screaming or whatever. And then I go and I just sit back down. And then his mom is looking at me, death glaring at me like, "How could you do that to him?" And then I'm like, and then I'm looking around. I'm like, I just did. We were sparring. I was supposed to do. And everybody, dude, every single person in that place may as well just pointed their finger at me. Every parent, every single person, the master Park, the like master of the discipline of the Taekwondo that we were doing was there. He decided to give a seminar or a closing speech about the power of self-control and when to practice it, all because I apparently didn't have self-control.
Holy
He
crap.
made it about me, and dude, on my way home, I cried. Because I was like, well, what do I do then? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Clearly this is something you're carrying with you just in life.
I've never healed from it.
Yeah, you have not. I hope you feel better.
You know, I just am like...
I can see why you quit.
It was... You can't... I couldn't be good. It kept trying to tell me, you're not going to be good.
Yeah.
Because you're either going to fart in somebody's face or you're going to kick some kid's teeth out. And then you're going to be the enemy for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's so weird because I look back about it, I never had a good experience at all, man. Like, no wonder I quit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for listening. This has been Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio. 1 year where Christian dumps all of his Taekwondo drama out.
Which is the answer to how long have you been playing baseball?
Yeah. Yeah, the guy was just like, "Sorry I asked."
Amazing. All right. Today is the Hall of Fame, and we ought to get to our personal Hall of Fame figures.
G.I. Joe doesn't get any bigger than this. The G.I. Joe Hall of Fame collection. Duke, Stalker, Snake Eyes, and Cobra Commander. Each 12 inches tall and authentically detailed. From Duke's lifelike hair to Cobra Commander's boots. They've got cloth uniforms, metal dog tags, and accessories like weapons cases and combat helmets. And each numbered collector's edition is armed with an awesome light and sound weapon. For really big action. The G.I. Joe Hall of Fame collection. Hall of Fame figures come with everything you see here, each sold separately.
Before we dive into our personal Hall of Fames, it's been a year. We've been doing this for 1 year, which is crazy. Which is absolutely crazy.
50 weeks straight.
52 weeks straight, but 50 episodes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, 15th.
Literally June 15th on the dot.
To the day.
Yeah.
To the day. Which is wild. Just absolutely
crazy.
insane stuff. But what have we learned?
I'll let you go. I just finished.
You know what? I put a little bit of thought into this. I didn't make any lists or anything like that. But I just kind of was thinking about it, and it's like a lot. Like, it's pretty surface and really deep.
Very deep.
Some stuff about just like my spending habits. Some stuff about my spending habits that I really don't want to face.
Yeah, you don't need to talk about
Some stuff about my spending habits that I just want to swallow and just not talk about at all.
Yeah, that's surface level.
When we started the podcast, I went back and listened to the first episode.
Yeah.
First of all, the audio is embarrassing. Like, embarrassing. I feel that's like still our most listened to episode because people want to start at the beginning, and I'm embarrassed by the way that it sounds.
Probably a good reason why there's a significant drop off in downloads from that episode to the next.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But the first, I don't even know, a couple months, I am staunchly new figures, brand new figures. That's all I collect is brand new figures. And as time went on, I just kind of got close to finishing some of those checklists, and I recognized on episode 1, I said something to the effect of, when these checklists are completed, I'm not going to stop hunting toys down, because I do it for the hunt, more so than the kill. I went way into vintage now. Not way into, like, pretty vintage. Like, I have vintage collections, and I didn't before. And those are all because we do this, and it makes me think about my childhood and memories and the good times and what I had and what I didn't have and what I wanted and what I liked. That stuff went dormant for a long time. Like, just didn't really put a lot of thought into certain things. And then I also, I don't know if this is something I learned, but I view my interests differently as whether or not they translate to toys. Beautiful. And when the answer is yes, it costs me money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just was watching Predator one day and came to the conclusion, Predator's my favorite movie monster. Why don't I have Predator toys? And I have spent a shitload of money on Predator stuff since that moment, right? Yeah. Stuff like that. But just also, what stuff is just stuff and what stuff means something. You know what I mean? This Hulk Hogan wrestling buddy means something.
Means something.
Like,
you came around like, Christian, I need you. I'll send you $70 if you please. Just whatever. I was like, yeah, sure.
They didn't have Venmo.
You're like, I got the grail of the grail of the grail.
They didn't have Venmo, and I don't have Cash App or whatever because I don't use like Cash for Gold apps. I use regular society apps. So I had to come get you and go, I'm Venmoing you money. You have to come use Cash App because I said, will you hold this? And they said, we'll hold it for a little while. And I was like, I'll be right back.
They were trying.
Yeah. But yeah, I've just learned like a lot about we use the word rules a lot, but I've learned more about my like parameters, I guess, like what's outside of my scope, what's inside of my scope. Like it's hard to envision like the stuff that's in the middle and how important that is, and the stuff that's on the fringe where I'm like, yeah, sure. And like where it's at in between. I have a more clear feeling for that now than I did when we started, for sure.
Yeah, man, mine. I feel like it's going to be deeper because it just is deeper, and I feel like it's crazy because not only did this open, like, what things actually actively open memories?
Yeah.
Like what things in your life actively like give you an opportunity to relive something? Very, very rarely, unless you do something like this it has an attachment to the life that you lived at one point in your life. Like, most people don't really get to experience that. Yeah. And to be in a position where like these things open the door to, you know, we call it unlocked memories. Our second episode ever was like called unlocked memories or whatever. And how much did that happen every time we talked about a specific collection or about something that we wanted to take on?
It would happen for the first, like, I don't even know how many episodes. It would happen every single time.
Those memories could never, if this was not something that you did, those memories could never be found again. But instead, it's opening the door for these things to just like be constantly on your mind, to be like way more connected. And I think for me, the biggest lesson, not even lesson, the biggest thing that I've taken away from this was that it's like I am finally complete. Meaning that these have always, like toys, and these toys have always meant something to me. People who know me, who have known me forever, when they see that I've done this, or they see like on Instagram, or if I run into them in person, if I haven't seen them in years and years and years, they never be like, "Wow, that's crazy. What made you get into that?" They're like, "Oh man,
of course.
that was you. You were always that." And so to me, to have to come back into this thing, that was always me. It was only ever meant to be me. And now, like, I'm living out everything that I've ever set out to do, like playing, or just like obviously being a trainer, writing, toy collecting, baseball. Everything in my life is something that is me. And it's like, that to me is the most like rewarding thing of all time. Like, it's crazy, like how destiny focused this is.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it just is like I don't even care about the money aspect. Like, I could look around and be like, yeah, there's thousands of dollars spent here, but also like hundreds of amazing memories of grails I'm finding, and reasons to leave the house, reasons to go to Houston, reasons to go to Dallas, amazing connections that we've made, knowledge that we absorbed, learning the matrix of like the things that were like the most meaningful to us. Like, it was really, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it was really difficult to me to go back and learn the history of Toy Biz Marvel Legends, because in my eyes, they came from above. I didn't want to believe that they were factory made, or that there was like, oh, this figure never did well because of how terrible the sculpt was, or the fact that these bodies shared sculpt, because in my eyes, they came to Walmart via the hand of God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So learning a little bit, but also I feel more complete, because it's like I'm paying homage to the thing that gave me everything, which is what we're going to talk about.
So you could have it in your collection so that you can look at it through the eyes of a kid that thinks that it was delivered through the hand of God, and look at it through the eyes of an adult who understands the history of the factory and the company. And be able to see it both of those ways is the best of both worlds. Like, truly.
And honestly, like, opportunities have presented themselves to us as a result of this, and things that would have never happened otherwise, or people that we've never met, or just like any of those things. And so this is a good little like motivational speech to anybody who's listening, but it's like, when you care about something and you put it in front of you and you focus on it, like, only good things are going to come from it. Too many people try to deny that stuff in their life.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. All right. On that topic, as we're doing the Hall of Fame, we have chosen our personal Hall of Fames. And these are not figures that are like the most legendary in the world, or the most sold, or like the most known. They're the ones that are personal to us. And we're going to get to the overall Hall of Fame later on in the episode. So these are the ones that are like in our lives.
Yes.
How much we care about it. And we took this very seriously, because the first one that each of us is going to say, that's the first figure in our Hall of Fames ever. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's got the glow.
Yeah.
Right? So, you want to kick it off?
I'll kick it off.
The first entry ever into the Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio Hall of Fame.
This one for me was, I remember the day perfectly on when I bought this figure. I remember exactly the emotions that I felt. I remember my mom saying yes. I remember being at Walmart. I remember getting home. Actually, I remember opening it in the car, and then all of it, before I even knew who this character really was. I mean, I was very much into Marvel, very much into like the characters, and I would go to Marvel.com and read the encyclopedia. But this character, I didn't really know who he was too much until like later on. So my first introduction into the Hall of Fame is the Toy Biz Marvel Legends Series 6 Deadpool.
No way.
Crazy.
I don't think I've ever even heard you bring that up.
This was my favorite figure ever.
Maybe you did mention
I did bring it up. I did bring it up
that.
a couple times. But it's weird because I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan now.
Right.
And the only reason I haven't bought this one again is because it's very sought after. And it's expensive on the aftermarket. So, and again, with my rules, it's like I don't want to spend $100 on one thing. I want to take $100 and spend it on 10 things.
Right.
But this one in particular is so like amazing because it's a ninja essentially that comes with 2 samurai swords, 2 AK-47s, a pistol, 2 sais, and then the little gloop or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I didn't know who that character was, so I threw that away.
Yeah, I still don't.
I'll never need that little green little like booger thing. But this thing in particular, dude, I played with this so much. This was the peak of my toy playing experience because I was a storyteller. I specifically remember my first real conception of time was playing toys. And I somehow calculated that I played for toys for 3 hours straight because the storyline that I had going was so good. And it had nothing to do with Deadpool. It was specifically just this ninja guy who was like a hitman that had to go on a job or whatever, and it was so good that I just may as well have clapped when I was done. So that's mine. What you got?
Dude, that's an epic first entry. Because Deadpool is so popular now, but because you didn't care about Deadpool.
Didn't care about it.
And it has nothing to do with the popularity of the character of Deadpool. It's just your ninja guy.
It was so sick.
I love that so much. Okay. My entire life, until we started this podcast, a little bit of a cliffhanger here, what I thought was my first memory was being at my grandmother's house, who I have no recollection of her, my mom's mom. No recollection of her whatsoever. But I know that I was at her house because I don't recognize this house, and I know I was with my mom. And there's nowhere else I would have been.
Yeah.
And I got stung by a bee. Usually pain is your first memory.
Yes.
I remember getting stung by a bee. I was outside. I got stung by a bee, and I was like screaming. And my mom went and got a cold washcloth, and she put it on me and got me to stop screaming. She set me down in front of the TV, and on the TV was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. And this is what I thought was my first memory, and the first time that I saw wrestling. So in wrestling, people will always ask you, "Where'd you get into it?" And I always told people, day one. Like, literally the moment that I came online.
Yes.
That's what was in front of me, and I couldn't not be fixated by it.
Crazy.
Fast forward to the early 90s, and they start making the Hasbros. And the advertisements, and Jimmy, what's his name? Oh my God, Jesse Ventura and Roddy Piper and the Ultimate Warrior screaming at the TV, and there's outer space in the background, and they're slamming the toys together. And Hulk Hogan is my guy, right? Like he is a superhero from like Mount Olympus come to Earth to tell you to train and say your prayers and eat your vitamins. And he's body slamming 500-pound people, and he's dressed in yellow and red, and he is a walking, talking, breathing comic book character. He's also named Hulk, and I knew of the Incredible Hulk, so there's like an association. So, 1992 WWF Hulk Hogan Series 3 Hasbro is my first entry because the figure is dope. It's my preferred version of Hulk Hogan, which is like the Python Power bandana, the Hulk Rule shirt. It's like that earlier 90s kind of look, and not instead of like the straight across headband. And the carding is that version of him, maximum tan and maximum jacked, and like that carding just means so much to me. I spent the most hours of anything ever laying on the floor with the ring and that figure, dominating my fig fed. Like, he was winning every match. He was probably undefeated on my living room floor, which is not great storytelling, but
I mean, was it for you though?
yeah, like
There
I
you go.
had the VHS of WrestleMania, 6 or whatever it was, like the compilations
Yeah.
on the TV, and I was on the floor and I was slamming that figure into the rest of the figures, and he was winning every match.
Exactly. All right, so my next one, and the way I was thinking about this, because I was like, okay, we obviously talk about the same things over and over and over and over and over again, but that's just what it is. There's no changing that. There's no changing, like, the thing, how we talked, whatever last episode or the episode before that, where I said, like, your thing chooses you. It's like there's no denying that.
Yeah.
Your thing chooses you. You can't run from it.
Yeah. I was placed in front of a TV that had wrestling on
That's
it.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
destiny. That's destiny. So my next one is a very close second, obviously, to the first, because of like how much it just like meant in my hands, like what it did in my hands, and like the memories attached to it, and like I don't even know how to explain like what you would say, like how you would word this, but it was just like the sensory element of it is the Series 5 Toy Biz Marvel Legends Gambit. It's
Dope.
like one of the best, if not the best, articulated figure
That's
ever.
that's a legendary toy.
Legendary. Comes with his staff. He comes with like some playing cards that are all like purple and lit up that you
Yeah.
can like hold. And then he comes on, which again in the goated era of Marvel Legends, they would come with more plastic. This one he comes with a severed sentinel hand that has claw marks, little Easter eggs of like Wolverine slashing through it, and you can pose him on top of that, which is amazing. And a cloth cape. And to me, dude, that was like one of my most favorite figures ever, because again, I didn't really play with him as Gambit. I just kind of played with him as a cool looking dude that had a staff.
Yeah.
And it was extremely heartbreaking to me because he was like, I think probably the first toy that I was obsessed with, that I loved, that broke, that was like, oh my God, my world is crumbling.
Heartbreaking.
Because I think I was playing with him at one point where what other character I had like roped around his neck to like yank him. I was very stylized and choreographed as far as like how
You're
this
real
would work.
John Woo.
John Woo, and his head fell off. And I was like, oh my God, how is this happening right now? Dude, I legitimately felt like I had a crisis moment where I was like, no, that didn't happen. No, there's no way. Like left the room, came back, it was still off. So to me, that's like, I know we were kind of thinking if we could change it up a little bit, but it's like, I can't change what happened.
Yeah.
I can't change the fact of how meaningful that is.
Yeah. No, that's a incredibly valid entry. All right, my second one is my actual first memory. I went through my entire life thinking that wrestling was my first memory because I come from wrestling and I talked about it constantly. And maybe I convinced myself that that was the case. And if I sat down and thought, that was the first thing I could remember. Then we started doing this podcast, and somewhere along the line, I forget what episode, or maybe it wasn't even on the air, but I was thinking about toys, and I had this like punch in the face epiphany of, oh my God, there's a memory prior to getting stung by a bee.
Whoa. The Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man vehicles, dude.
Wow.
The 1984 Spider-Man vehicle set produced by Buddy L, which is, we'll never speak of Buddy L other than this set of a van, a sports car, a helicopter, and a motorcycle with a Spider-Man sticker somewhere on it. These may have even been, I've got a half brother who's older than me, they may have been his toys that got passed down to me or something like that. I don't remember, I just remember them. I remember the object itself, like in the bathtub, on the floor in the bedroom. I don't remember specifics. It's like the vaguest of memory, and that's how I know it's prior, because it's so vague. Like, but this bright red vehicle with Spider-Man on the side of it is so striking.
You would have never, again, I'll say it again, you would have never known.
I wouldn't have ever thought about that.
You would have never thought about it. If you were somebody else working a corporate day job, if you were, a finance bro, whatever, you would have never thought about that in your entire life.
And it's...
And more importantly, you would have never... You bought that in California, right?
Yeah.
You
I bought
that
it in Santa Rosa, California, where my parents' house was when that was taking place.
Because you were
I live in Austin, Texas.
You live in Austin, Texas. You went there. I'm going to check out this toy store because it seems like it's pretty cool. And you found that thing because 2 episodes prior to that, we talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
The toy destiny is out of control.
It's out of control. And that's how you know it's destiny. Okay. We're only doing 3, right?
Yep.
So third one, I think the way I was also looking at how to induct these toys for me was, well, what's your first? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a first something, right?
First love,
a first experience, something enough to like burn its image in your brain. For me, it was the year 2000, dude. Spider-Man Classics. And I've talked about this many times. The Series 2 Spider-Man Classics Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. He comes with the wall that has the Daily Bugle behind him. He, graffiti web, devil horns or whatever it is on J. Jonah Jameson. And then you can obviously like attach it to the wall because it's like a wall mount is what they call it. And that was the very one that had the comic that I thought was going to change the financial future for my parents' life because my dad was watching on PBS about how that comic is going for $150,000. And because I had that come with the toy, I realized I've got that. And I'm going to slowly get up and I'm going to go grab it and I'm going to tell my dad that, like, go ahead and get the new wallpaper. But that, looking in hindsight, was my first Spider-Man figure.
Which is, man, you could make a documentary called My First Spider-Man Figure.
Yes.
And you could talk to people who are 70 years old and 8-year-olds and everyone in between.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was
yours just so happens to come attached to that, no pun intended, amazing story of Amazing Fantasy.
Yes. And I think like probably the first real, that may have been my first Marvel Legends adjacent figure. I think that may have been the first, because I was Spider-Man Classic, so pre-Marvel Legends, but that may have been my first introduction to all of that. So that probably should have been my number 1, but
your first class.
Yeah.
Your first Hall of Fame class.
I mean, dude, and I just specifically remember the articulation.
Yeah.
Because again, like 98 through 2006 was like my heyday, right? Where consciousness found me. And seeing the evolution, just even as a young kid, about like how articulation changed. And that may have been like the moving piece, the needle that moved forward for me on like my understanding of articulation and playability. And yeah, man. So,
I mean, that's an absolutely epic figure with no stories attached to it. You attach a personal story to it. Absolutely.
And I've told this before, but it's important, I feel like, even more to kind of tie back into like that Spider-Man van and like how it led you, how it found you again, how it called for thee. Like truly.
It did.
It called for you. The idea
I was going into the cabinet to get something else when I saw it. I was having the guy unlock the cabinet so I could look at WWF Hasbro's, and he was like, couldn't find the right key. So I was just staring into the cabinet, waiting for him to find the right key when I saw it.
Man, and that's insane.
Yeah.
Whenever we were leaving my family's house in Bastrop, Texas. Austin is a toyless nightmare. Bastrop's really not up for question. There's just not going to be toys there. It's not going to have a toy store.
It's not somewhere that should have toys.
Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome. But leaving there, and my girlfriend on Facebook Marketplace, and it's like, ooh, this Spider-Man figure looks cool. And I was like, what? Which one? I look, it's that one. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, you have 2 stories about this figure.
Yeah, this is like the more
yeah.
recent one where I was like, oh my God. Like that, I had that one. I was like, does she still have it? She's like, I don't know. I'll message her. And I was like, oh yeah, message her, see if she still has it. She was like, it says $20. I was like, message her. And then she messages her. We're on this road, this back road that I would travel every single day when I lived in Bastrop and worked in Austin. I would travel it every single day. It's a back road. It's just winding country road. We're on that road on the way back because I decide, I'm like, man, I don't feel like going down 71 and hitting traffic or whatever. I was like, kind of want to take the scenic route. We're on that road. She responds, says, yes, it's still available. Are you interested? Like, yes, we are. And then blah, blah, blah. We come to the conclusion. She's like, here's my address. It's on the road that we're already on coming from Bastrop. And we take like these wild, like in-depth little, like, you know, kind of turns and stuff like this in this back neighborhood that I was saying that I was like, it had to have been the nexus of all reality because it was like it was like one of those things where you get out of your car and you're like, where are we? Because it was like
the beginning of a horror movie.
Or not even that, or it was just like, it was like where you go through a dimension before the next dimension.
Yeah.
And I get out and it's these houses that all look exactly the same. And then this old lady standing on her doorstep holding Spider-Man Amazing Fantasy, Spider-Man Classics toy. And I go over there and I'm like, oh my God. She said, you know, my brother bought this 30 years ago. She had the timeline a little messed up. And she was like, and I just have had it ever since then. And it was very, very yellow. That's probably why it was $20. And I was like, I wanted to like tell her like, you know, like this, you have no idea. Like, I was like, I used to have this too, but I was a kid. And then I just gave her the money. And then I'm like, holy crap, man. So it's wild where it's like, how does that even happen?
Yeah. Dude,
how does that even happen?
Pretty crazy. How you just unlocked a path for me in the future by talking about your past, because you have 2 separate stories to tell about one of your Hall of Fame figures, right? Mm-hmm. My next Hall of Fame figure has 1 story because I haven't gotten it again. And I'm not going to get it on eBay because the next time I get it, it could potentially have a story attached to it. Right?
Exactly.
So my third one, like I said, early memories are tied to pain, right? And this particular pain may have caused a lifelong problem with authority.
Beautiful.
Right? The reason that I own my own business is because I'm not fit to work for someone else. I've found that out the hard way over a half lifetime, is that I just don't do well with being told what to do.
Yeah.
I have a major problem with it. And that probably comes from, because my parents certainly weren't telling me what to do.
Like, that's interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
It probably comes from having my 1992 Terminator 2 Power Arm Terminator taken away from me at school. I can vividly remember this interaction and the confusion and pain that I took it to school with me because I loved it so much.
Yeah.
I took my Terminator Power Arm and my exploded T-1000, which I have acquired.
So another thing that I think is super important is you had sent a childhood, we talked about this in a couple of, or way back, but like childhood photo of you wearing a T2 shirt.
Yeah, my class photo.
Your class photo. You're
class.
like 9, maybe?
Somewhere 8, 9.
Maybe, yeah, like younger
my
than that.
My class photo in 2nd grade, I'm wearing a T2 shirt.
Undeniable.
So this is in 3rd grade, which is at another school, right? You change schools.
Yeah.
We're doing something in the assembly room at Pinecrest Elementary in Sebastopol, California. I go in my backpack. I take out my Terminator toys. I start playing with them. Teacher comes over and snatches them and said, you can have these back after. Was like that. It wasn't like a major thing. Mm-hmm. I might as well have been shot. I was so bothered, right? That was my plan for the day.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to
school, yeah.
That's what I was going to do with the day. So, on top of being like one of my all-time favorite movies and like just such a cool figure and so powerful to a kid, that image and the art style and the whole thing. But you're telling me now that I cannot buy that on eBay. I
cannot.
cannot buy that on eBay. It has to be found in the wild.
Well, I was gonna say count on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's what we're unlocking. Is it's just like, no, like it's not the time.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't eBay stuff, because it's like,
I'm realizing now I need to consider what is eBay and what is not eBay,
Yeah.
and not forego a story to be told by getting it on eBay.
yeah, like there's
Starting lineups, I can get those on eBay.
Yeah, I think there's certain things for me too where it's like, I could probably do that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, because would I buy it if I saw it in person? Maybe not, because I would try to hopefully find something better.
Yeah.
But there's no quest to be had. There's no
Right.
destiny to be fulfilled unless something happens today where you get on eBay and there's a 2-pack of the very things you're talking about going for like a crazy rate, and then you're just like, holy crap.
Yeah, but even then, I won't remember that.
Yeah.
I'll have it, which will
Yeah.
be cool, but I won't remember that. I'm going to remember getting this Hulk Hogan wrestling buddy and having to come get you, to Venmo you, to, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to
Yes.
remember that. Like, so I
crazy.
feel like this is a future episode topic, is eBay versus in person, when and why.
Beautiful.
Right, like that sort of thing. But so
Tell me
that's
next episode.
That's our first class of our personal Hall of Fame, and let's get to the news real quick.
New at 11, buyer beware. A local family is outraged over a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy that they bought for their son. It says a variety of phrases, but the family believes one of them includes a swear word that starts with a B.
All right, the news is brief, and this episode is going to be long, so we'll go through it here relatively quick. Some wrestling stuff got shown off today that already had been shown off. They just showed official images in box, and that is the Kane and Yokozuna Coliseum Collection 2-pack. The figures look fine. There's nothing about the figures that's really noteworthy necessarily. The carding is interesting because the Kane is homaging Jakks Titantron Live, and the Yokozuna is homaging Hasbro. I don't think either one of them is doing a great job of homaging the thing that they're trying to homage, and the thing that bothers me is that they are razor thin to being WrestleMania 2000, the video game, and WrestleMania, the video game. They're almost my dream of video game based figures, so they're a pass for me, but I could see other people grabbing them. And they also showed off the upcoming brand new Saturday Night Main Event line, the like sub line, the elite sub line, with Cody Rhodes in street gear, which I think is so dope. Ultimate Warrior Intercontinental Champion, the Braun Breaker Intercontinental Champion, and Junkyard Dog. I love the carding on these. Like, I love the branding of Saturday Night Main Event in that like 80s retro style, and I think I probably will get Junkyard Dog as just a guy that I like. They showed the Cactus Jack and the New Jack Defining Moments figures, the ECW Defining Moments figures. I believe those are going to be ringside exclusives. They showed off, I think, a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, WrestleMania 41 Jey Uso, as well as the CM Punk in his Cubs jersey, which is the
Nice.
basis of your custom. And then in addition to that, the pre-orders went up for the McFarlane's Sports Legend figures, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Troy Aikman, and Jerry Rice. So you can pre-order those if you're interested. I did. And lastly, but not leastly, Mondo showed off their Tila from Masters of the Universe 2000X, which looks like Tila from 2000X. So, did you have any news that you needed to get to?
Nothing, man.
All right, enough of that new stuff. Let's talk about the Hall of Fame.
Henry, will you please see what those boys are up to?
Introducing WWF Wrestling Buddies. Wrestling Buddies from Tonka. Punk 'em, bop 'em. Wrestling Buddies are looking for action.
Hey, fellas, what's going on?
Nothing, Dad.
Who do you think you are?
Dad, Hulk Hogan!
Wrestling Buddies want to be your buddy.
Henry, what's going on up there?
Nothing, dear.
WWF Wrestling Buddies, new from Tonka. Each sold separately.
All right, right, so we just talked about our personal Hall of Fames, which was heart over head. Exclusively heart.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about the main line Hall of Fame, which is supposed to be head over heart, right? What is genuinely the most legendary? We put it up for a vote on Instagram at Mighty Champions, and we're going to go kind of section by section. These are curated by the two of us, and what we were kind of somewhat going off memory on purpose, because if it doesn't come to mind, then maybe it's not worth the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's some glaring omissions.
Yeah.
Get at us at Mighty Champions. It's our Hall of Fame. Deal with it.
Yeah.
So the first category is the Hall of Fame wing for superhero figures, right? Obviously near and dear to both of our hearts.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have made it this far into this one episode if you hadn't figured that out.
Right.
The... not nominees, what do you call them? they're the options are the 1993 Uncanny X-Men Wolverine.
Yeah.
The I think that's the second Wolverine in that line, because the first one I think is the brown. So this is the X-Men animated series, Jim Lee, yellow, black, blue Wolverine from Toy Biz, right?
Yes.
At least when I was a kid, that thing dominated.
Yeah.
Everybody had that.
Everybody
had that. You find it at every toy show now in the $5 bin because they produced quadrillions of them, right? But also, it's not junk. It's like beloved. Sort of my thought process was, if you find your friend or your, somebody who is not a toy guy, but was when he was a kid and isn't plugged in, if you show it to them, what's their reaction going to be to it?
Dude, I've had that come up a couple times, and that one in particular, people be like, I actually had that when I was younger. That's crazy. They've always had that.
They remember it.
I got that figure because this guy at my church was like, I know you like a bunch of action figures, man. I'll bring you some of mine. And I remember thinking, like, okay, these are kind of weird because they're not like, but it was still sick because it was still Wolverine, man.
Yep. The next option in the superhero category, we talk about it all the time. It's on the wall behind me. One of my prized possessions. 1992 Batman the Animated Series Combat Belt Batman from Kenner. Another same time period, honestly, like an exact same time period. Batman's obviously a legendary character. That show is legendary, and that figure was the one you needed because they only made one regular Batman, and that's the one, right? So everybody had to have it then, and anybody who's collecting that line now has to have it. And obviously, Batman the Animated Series is like about as some people's favorite Batman anything, me myself included.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. In your wheelhouse, the 2000 Spider-Man Classics Series 1 Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The one that comes with the red, what'd you call it? Wall
mount.
Wall mount.
Yeah.
It's like the thing from his belt, the spotlight from his belt. Super articulated, like the first time that term is used.
Yeah.
I think.
Probably.
Right? Like, and just, that's another one, if you just show it to Bill, he's going to be like, holy crap, I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like guys that, I feel like the Toy Biz Wolverine, it's like, or even the Batman animated series, in your time, if you showed guys that were like around your age, they'd be like, oh crap, same thing with me. Like, I've shown that kind of stuff to people and like, dude, actually, I do remember seeing that. Like they're gonna know.
Yeah. And then the last one in the superhero category, 1989 Batman from Toy Biz on that gold card, the black suit, the movie Batman in that line. Obviously, that's like one of the most legendary movies ever made. Like, not just because I love it, but from a public interest standpoint.
Right.
The vote on Instagram was 36% to Combat Belt Batman. So we're not going to just say whoever y'all voted for is the winner necessarily, but not necessarily the other way either. We'll take it into consideration. Wolverine got 27% and Batman 89 got 27%, with Spider-Man only getting 9%.
I was the 9%.
I think Spider-Man just needs more time.
Yeah.
Because it's 2000, right?
Yeah.
Vintage is 25 years?
That's 20 years.
20 years,
Yeah.
okay. So I think it just needs more time to gestate.
Yeah, that's fair.
Between the other three, that's really hard. I don't think that the 89 Batman toy line, although it is legendary, I don't think it carries the same weight that the other two do. I don't think there's as many current day vintage collectors chasing that as there are the other two. Would you agree with that?
I think I would, yeah.
Okay, so then it's really between Wolverine and animated series Batman, which is a coin toss.
It is a coin toss, but I think one way we can look at it is it's like who... I mean, I already had like a random previous experience of just like somebody just having a handful of those.
Of Wolverine?
Of the Wolverines. And to me, like the Wolverine is like... I think if we...
I think if it's in every toy bin at every toy show for $5 versus being on my wall for an amount that I had to hide from my girlfriend,
yes,
that makes it more legendary that it was produced that much.
Yeah, which means that more people had it and more people probably wanted it.
So, the first superhero figure of the Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio Hall of Fame is 1993 Uncanny X-Men Wolverine from Toy Biz.
Perfect.
In the wrestling category, obviously you're not going to be able to participate a heck of a lot here, so I'll kind of explain it to yous. The first entry, as any self-respecting wrestling fan would have on this list, is the 1984 WWF Wrestling Superstars Hulk Hogan LJN. That is probably one of the top produced items in pop culture history. Like, that thing was in every single household. It probably is still in a lot of households. It was a pop culture icon in a, like, that big rubber guy was like, that was what people wanted at the time, that mold. The next entry is the 1997 WWF Bone Crunching Action Bad Boys Stone Cold Steve Austin from Jax. This is Steve Austin's rookie figure. This is the first... It's probably not the first product, but it's the first wrestling figure of Steve Austin. And in 97... the anticipation is through the roof that they're going to do a figure eventually. Like, they got to get a figure going eventually. And when they do, it's in this sick Bad Boys carding. The figure's not good, but it's what we had at the time, right? So
we don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know it's bad.
At the time, you don't know it's bad. It's just what there is,
yeah.
Right? And you see them on TV, and now you got them in your hand, and that's good enough, right? The next one is the 1993 WWF Series 2 Ultimate Warrior from Hasbro. I put this one in because I didn't want to do two Hogans. If I'm being honest, it should be Hogan. But Warrior was also huge. And for a brief period of time, he's bigger than Hogan. And then Hogan takes back over. But just to represent that line. And then the last one, 2005, just barely makes the vintage cut. WWE Deluxe Aggression John Cena limited edition with the white shoes from Jax. Hogan got 27%. Austin got 36%. Warrior got 27%. And John Cena got 9%. So I think Cena's out.
He's out.
I think Cena's out. I think Warrior, because really I only put Warrior specifically in there to represent the line. He's like the next biggest. I think he's out. And I think it's between Austin and Hogan. And Austin got the larger percentage of the vote. Here's where my head's at, and you can kind of just bounce this off you. Austin got a bigger piece of the vote. Hogan is definitively the most legendary figure in these options. But just like Barry Bonds didn't get into the Hall of Fame because he kind of was a jerk, I kind of think Hogan should have to wait, right? Like, as much as I've kind of swooned over him on this episode, I think if we can balance things out a little bit and say, sorry, man, like technically you're a 7-time MVP, but, right? Would you agree with that?
I would agree. And as somebody, again, who didn't really know wrestling or grow up with wrestling, the echoes of Stone Cold Steve Austin, like, even came into my household, like, regardless if I paid attention to it or not, it was coming in front of me.
Unescapable.
And I feel like he's still a pretty good guy in real life.
Yeah.
And that
he's not without things that have happened, but as far as we know, nothing.
Well, he's still pretty active, and he's just like, "Hey, Poncho, what you doing, man?" But I'm down to go Stone Cold.
Okay.
I think right now, if we were in a room full of guys that are both my age and your age, I do believe that they could both agree.
I think so. I think people have turned their back on Hogan.
Yeah.
Some of them have reconciled, like I talked about earlier. A lot of people just haven't, and I wouldn't argue that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't argue if somebody told me he's dead to me forever. Hey, okay.
I think you would get more people cheering for Stone Cold.
1,000%.
Yes.
If they have both been in an arena and only one of them got cheered, right?
Crazy.
So, okay, that's what it is. It's Steve Austin, Bone Crunch in action. Movies and TV. This was impossible to come up with.
Yeah.
This whole thing was impossible to come up with. We've left out hundreds of figures because they just can't all be.
Well, they'll get their time in the sun.
They'll get their time. So movies and TV. 1981, which shocked me to find out.
Crazy.
1981, Masters of the Universe, He-Man from Mattel. The first He-Man.
Yeah.
OG He-Man. 1988, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Raphael from Playmates. The reason that I chose Raphael is because of my experience, he was everybody's favorite initially.
Yeah.
And the fact that they all started off with red bandanas and then he was the only one that kept the red bandana, and red was kind of just every boy's favorite color. And like, so if you can't put all four of them, then he would have been the one at that time.
Yeah.
Same thing with 1993, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Red Ranger from Bandai, the flip head. Green Ranger doesn't come along until later on.
Right.
Right? So before that happens, you got to have Red Ranger.
Yeah.
He's the coolest one.
Leader.
He's in the front. He's the leader. He's got the T-Rex. He's, you know what I mean? He's the dude. And then the reason that we're here, 1977 Star Wars Luke Skywalker from Kenner. None of this exists without that line, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't collect it. You don't collect it. I walk right past it in, Dallas Vintage Toys.
Yeah.
But it is the reason that action figures exist, right?
Yeah.
That's the first, what we know as action figures. It is. He-Man, 22%. Raphael, 44%. Red Ranger, 11%. Luke Skywalker, 22%. My head tells me that we've got to go with Luke Skywalker, but he doesn't have the vote. I think for our audience, it's clear that Ninja Turtles just stands above everything else.
I think the same concept with Ninja Turtles, because I believe that if we were in a room with, we're in a not a stadium, but like an auditorium or convention center, and we're on stage, and there are people in the crowd ages 5 to 50, and we were like, here is Raphael. I think everybody would be like, yeah, from 5 to 50 years old.
Yeah.
I think more people would do that. Whereas if I pulled out the Farm Boy Luke, as they call him, if we pulled out Farm Boy Luke and then held it to the crowd, like
there's a section of people
the
that
50-year-olds would be like, I think I had that, or my friend Jimmy had that, and it's like I think that Raphael can survive it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. I think the power of Ninja Turtles, in the toy space, is just kind of greater than most things.
Yeah, I voted for the Red Ranger, but it's like, again, I'm voting with my heart, where it's like, if I was in KB Toys and I was met with the, Raphael or the Red Ranger, I would have gone the Red Ranger, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But if I'm up against like the farm boy Luke and then Raphael, I'm going Raphael, man.
Yeah.
I don't need something that comes out of his hand that's yellow that's supposed to be a lightsaber. It just looks weird, man. I'm not gonna lie. And they'll do it for me.
All right, it's Raphael. All right, moving over to vehicles. This was another really challenging one.
This one was challenging
to come up with. First, 1982 G.I. Joe Vamp from Hasbro. That's getting currently remade multiple times over because of its popularity. The 1984 Transformers Optimus Prime.
Mm-hmm.
This was me finagling
throwing
away
a bone to the Transformer
to
folks.
not put him in movies and TV because we limited it to 4.
Okay.
So I was like, where do I put him? Oh, he's a vehicle.
Yeah,
right?
There you go. That's a good way to look at it.
1989, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Party Wagon from Playmates. And then 1979, Star Wars Millennium Falcon. Vamp, 0%.
Yeah.
Transformers Optimus Prime, 33%. Party Wagon, 25%. Millennium Falcon, 42%. This is another coin toss for me.
So,
obviously, it's not Vamp.
It's not Vamp. I'm going to say it's not the Party Wagon either, because I think, again, if you were in a room full of people and you were like, because everybody's going to know Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
And I think everybody, even more so, is going to know the Millennium Falcon.
I think if that's the criteria, if you just hold it up and tell the people to make a response, the Millennium Falcon gets the biggest response.
I think that, and to me, I actually voted for that too, because And if that toy line is not represented in our Hall of Fame, we do not have a credible Hall of Fame. Yeah.
I think.
That and also, like, I think, again, if you were ages 5 to 55 or whatever, and there was the opportunity to play with a semi-truck, which turns into a robot, it is cool.
And his prime colors.
But also a spaceship that is huge that you can stick all kinds of toys into.
Yeah.
Because Optimus Prime isn't going to be as fun if you can't play with other Transformers.
Yeah. You can put them inside the trailer, but that's about it.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like, I think more people go Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
I think that...
I think you're right. I think it's almost unarguable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the people who are Optimus Prime would live and die by the sword, but I think you would have...
Yeah,
I think
greater amount of people would be Millennium Falcon. And like I said, if Star Wars is not represented in this Hall of Fame, we do not have a credible Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, play sets.
Oh, okay.
Play sets. This one was another tough one.
This one was hard.
1981, Masters of the Universe Castle Grayskull. 1989, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but that's what I found. 1989 WWF Ring from Hasbro. You know how much I love it.
Yeah.
1989 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Technodrome. And the 1978 Star Wars Death Star Space Station. 42% Motu. 17% The Ring. 33% Technodrome. 8% Death Star. I think Death Star is just eliminated.
Yeah.
I think the Ring is eliminated also. As much as I love it like the most, I think that a broad audience, that doesn't really qualify to a lot of people, because wrestling doesn't qualify to a lot of people, right? So really it's between Castle Grayskull and the Technodrome.
I think it's Grayskull. Because I think there's more people, and again, I'm using this analogy, I think there's more people if I were to pick up the Grayskull and show it to a crowd of people. I think more people would be able to name it than a Technodrome. I think people would recognize it more than a Technodrome.
So I think you're right. Here's what I think. If you said, do you remember Ninja Turtles or do you remember Masters of the Universe? The amount of people that would say that they remember Ninja Turtles is 100%. And the people that remember Masters of the Universe is like much, 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 much less. But if you showed them these two items, they would freak out about Castle Grayskull because it would unlock that memory.
But let me
and
change it up.
And they wouldn't maybe remember the Technodrome.
I think if you change it up, and
Danielle said to me, "What's a Technodrome?"
Exactly.
When I showed it to her,
and I would say if you said who remembers He-Man? I think if you said He-Man,
Yeah.
and who remembers that, and then you showed
I
them.
think people remember Castle Grayskull, the next thing after He-Man about that that property.
I think it's Grayskull.
Yeah,
because
right.
the Technodrome is in my opinion, it's niche. It's more niche than Grayskull.
It sold a lot. It was huge in its day.
Okay.
I don't know that it necessarily carried over.
Yeah, I think there's more
through
people
time.
going and trying to chase down Grayskulls. That's
Today.
why you see, like people.
Well, they also
always,
reproduce the Technodrome a bunch.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, but yeah, I think for the purposes of what we're talking about
and
here,
in the same way that we have Star Wars in the Hall of Fame, I think we have to have He-Man.
fair point. Okay, the last category, miscellaneous. This was fun.
Yeah.
This was fun. 1990 WWF wrestling buddy Hulk Hogan, which I put in this list 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And then found this morning. Mm-hmm. Wild. 2003 Hulk hands. Star Wars collapsible lightsaber, no particular brand or year, just Star Wars branded lightsabers.
Yeah.
You've seen them.
Yeah.
1984 real Ghostbusters Proton Pack from Kenner. Did you see the signed one at the show?
No.
The table I found you at?
Oh, yeah.
There was one on that table autographed, and the guy said that he looked it up and he thinks that it's maybe Dan Aykroyd's signature, but he's not going to sell it as though it is because he's not certain. This Proton Pack.
I would have never known that in a million years. I was looking at loose friggin' Triceratops.
Wrestling Buddies Hulk Hogan from Tonka, 20%. Hulk Hands, 30%. Lightsaber, 10%, which shocked me. And Ghostbusters Proton Pack, 40%.
Whoa, dude! I was thinking that was gonna go 0.
Proton, dude, Ghostbusters is a monster.
That's crazy.
Ghostbusters is a monster.
I've never seen it, but also like that's
real
shocking.
Ghostbusters, the cartoon
That's huge,
is people want that stuff bad, and that
Wow.
Proton Pack that's one of those like the USS Flag or something like that. That's like everyone needed that for a season. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember playing with that in my next door neighbor Gary's like back room with like the thing that projects the ghost onto the wall, and then you use that and you step on the thing and the projection goes into the ghost trapper.
Wow.
Like it was big.
Okay.
It was big. So I think the lightsaber is out, which is
fair.
I'm shocked by that.
Yeah.
The lightsaber's out. I think again this is another scenario where wrestling just can't win because it's wrestling. And I can admit that it's just not as broad.
Yeah, because I've never heard of those or seen those.
Really?
Across toy space.
It's a
and time.
pillow that goes for $150 on eBay.
Yeah, never. I mean, like if I did it, I didn't notice because it was a pillow.
Yeah. So like I'll show you the commercial. Like, oh, so good. So Hulk Hands or Proton Pack. Here's my argument for the Hulk Hands. Hulk Hands crossed the barrier. Hulk Hands got sold at baseball games. Hulk Hands are team specific, and adults know what Hulk Hands are.
Yeah.
Like Hulk Hands are not toy culture, they're culture.
Their culture. There's, like I said, there's always a bite taken out of it for some reason. I think also just maybe like what created more of a what had more of like a rippling effect. Hulk Hands and the amount of fights started because of Hulk Hands.
Yeah.
You know, the amount of kids that got hit just a little too hard in the face.
Yeah. So I think as much as I love the Proton Pack and it took me back to see one today,
Yeah.
I think it's Hulk Hands.
Yeah?
I think Hulk Hands cross culture
I think
in
that's
general. Okay, the class of 2026 Hall of Fame for the Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio, Uncanny X-Men Wolverine, Bone Crunching Action Stone Cold Steve Austin, TMNT Series 1 Raphael, the Millennium Falcon, Castle Grayskull, and Hulk Hands.
That's beautiful.
You proud of it?
I think I don't know if anybody would disagree with that.
I want to hear the argument.
Yeah.
I would love to hear the argument against it. And like we've been talking about, using your head, not your heart.
Yeah.
I would love to hear the argument against it.
Or both. I mean, I think you have to use both, but there has to be an argument against it. You know what I'm saying? And again, like, just like baseball or any other sport, we'll come back around to the ones that maybe feel like they should have been there. You know what I'm saying?
So I think what we'll probably do is leave the ones in here, maybe 2 or of the 3 remaining that got enough votes, or that we, after this conversation, and then replace the one that won and the one that didn't matter.
Yeah.
And keep on going like that.
Right.
And so they'll get multiple chances. That LJN Hogan, that's a Hall of Fame figure. That's the Hall of Fame figure. It didn't get in because he doesn't, that's his penance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's his penance.
That's crazy.
I'm sure he, arrived at the pearly gates and Peter was like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here, pal.
Yeah.
Also, you didn't make the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
That's the Hall of Fame. That's 1 year.
1 year of Mighty Champions.
Thank you guys for listening
Thank
to
you.
the show. Thank you for supporting us. It's been a wild year. Here's to another year.
Yeah.
At least. Many
Yep.
more years. Make sure you leave us a review. That's going to help us get to another year. Hit us with your 3 Hall of Fame figures and argue or agree with our Hall of Fame figures. And we will catch you guys down the road. Peace.